On this podcast, we'll talk about more than just basketball. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a two-time NCAA scoring champ and the NCAA Player of the Year. Honors I earned by putting in the work and staying focused on the bigger picture. I had dreams and aspirations of playing in the NBA a long time, but an ACL injury took me on a completely different path. We'll dive deep into real stories, challenges, and triumphs that athletes, coaches, and everyday people experience when chasing their dreams.
Be breeding warriors. Anything you place in front of me, I'll be victorious. Straight about the trenches where it's vicious, but it's glorious. Ready for whatever, never scared. We got the Lord with us in the ghetto, we notorious. Be breeding warriors. Anything you place in front of me, I'll be victorious. Straight about the trenches where it's vicious, but it's glorious. Ready for whatever, never scared. We got the Lord with us in the ghetto, we notorious. This be breeding. My mama had to make a way. I grew up on Section 8, 7 in a 3-bedroom apartment. Don't test your faith. Close my eyes.
Mr. Rodney Heath, man, I am so glad and happy and just ecstatic about this dude being on, man. He has some accolades that are outstanding. 4 years with Cincinnati Bengals, 1 year with Atlanta. And man, when I say this guy was outstanding on the field, I'm just anxious to hear him speak about being on the field and off the field. Great story. Rodney, my man, how you doing, man?
What's up with you, Lowe's? How you doing, brother?
Oh, man, moving around, man, moving around. Yeah.
That's always good. Glad you got me on, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to be the first NFL guy on here too. You gotta get a couple more. I got a whole bunch of boys lined up that I can get you with too.
Hey, man, that's gonna be beautiful, man. The platform that we're trying to establish is, the information from all type of athletes, man. And your story is definitely one of those that I want the world to hear. Yep.
Bro,
so what's up, man?
that.
How you doing? Where you at now?
Now I'm still north of Cincinnati, Ohio, man.
North of Cincy?
Yeah. So I'm not too far. I'm about 30 minutes north of it. A little area, Liberty Township is where I'm at. Been here, man. Believe it or not, been here since '04.
Okay.
So we really settled down and everything over there. But, that's one of the things right there. Just being in this area, it's just grown and blew up, man. It's just big time stuff that's going on over here right now, though.
Absolutely. I'm right down the road from you. Well, from Dayton. So, and I spent some time in Liberty, too. I lived up there when I was coaching at the University of Cincinnati, man.
Oh, so, yeah. See, it's a small world right there. We would probably walk right past each other.
I'm telling you.
Over here, matter of fact, I was obviously coaching over Lakota East. So now that I'm over there coaching, I've been coaching there and coach my kids. Y'all hear me when I talk about my story, my kids is involved. Much like most athletes, I would expect that, but my kids was involved, and there was a lot of decisions that I made in life based on them, obviously based on with my wife and everything. So my story is something I told, really should have wrote a book. I ain't gonna hold myself out that I won't, but it's one of those stories where I hope it would be able to influence a lot of people to keep pushing forward for us with their dreams.
Of course. Well, let's start out with this, man, because this is always intriguing, especially for the outside looking in. But guys like myself and you, we know what it takes, blood, sweat, and tears as far as, being a student athlete and then a professional athlete. Man, where did it start for you, man? How did it happen for you? What was day one for you?
I mean, day one for me, really, I'm a son of a police officer, Cincinnati police officer, all right?
Okay.
So my grind has always been hard. My dad being a cop over in Bond Hill, over by Woodward, rough part of Cincinnati. And obviously I'm the youngest of three, my older sister, and then I got my brother. My brother's 5 years older than me. That's who I patterned my game after. He was that dude that was doing football, baseball, everything he tried to do, I did. And I remember I noticed, I got a chip on my shoulder because being the youngest, being hungry, I ain't ever been bullied, but I always had a brother that was always trying to make sure I was good. And he really patterned, I'm growing up thinking about being like, not just Walter Payton as a running back or Deion Sanders and these boys in football. I'm trying to be like him. Because that was who I idolized growing up. Then when I started getting to high school and I started becoming my own, who I am and, getting that grind, man, that chip always stayed on my shoulder, though, because I was always that feisty cat. Like, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to get mine. But that's just how I play. I play with that fire like that. I coach with that fire. You know what I'm saying? So that's something for me where it's taken me far. And it built me to where I'm a man where when I say I'm a man of integrity, I'm a man of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also a man that, you know, if I'm going to say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to do it. So I don't really fool with people who don't. You know what I'm saying? So really, when I'm a player like that, I think on one half of me, when I step across that line, I become a whole different person.
Absolutely.
And really, to this day, like that's just who I am, dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I am.
Right. I got you. So what high school did you attend out there?
I went to Western Hills High School,
Western
Best High.
Hills.
West High, the best high on the
West
west
High,
side.
the best high. I heard
Yeah,
that.
I came out of there in '93.
Okay.
So, you know,
93.
I mean, you know, when Pete Rose, they say that's where Pete Rose went to.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he did, you know, Hall of Famer, but rest his soul.
Of course.
And me.
How was that? What, you know, you guys win the state? Was you in the
I mean,
semis?
shoot, bro. Like, once my junior year hit, like from my freshman and sophomore year, typically down here in Cincinnati, the GCL school, which is Moeller, LaSalle, you know, the St. X, a lot of those schools. My brother went to LaSalle, so I was supposed to be going to the Catholic school district. But I grew up with a lot of dudes where it was in middle school where I wanted to go to school and play with them, which would take me to West High.
Mm-hmm.
Once my freshman year hit, we did our thing. We was blowing people out. Everybody knew, like, you know, the Cincinnati public schools can play.
Mm-hmm.
And we was doing our thing. We got people who was getting recruited, cats going to Michigan State. You know, we had people going to Indiana, so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mike Middleton, he wound up going to Indiana from West High. So these are the guys before me that played. So when I got to my junior year, I really had a heck of a year, man.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about interceptions, you know, went from offense to defense, going both ways. And then my senior year hit, I just blew up. Like, it was one of them things where I had like 6 picks. I returned like 5 of them for touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so at that point, real talk though, I wasn't thinking about college. I just was playing ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like my whole fall, that whole, you know, September, October, November, I'm just thinking about playing ball.
Right.
Once football season got over, recruits start coming in. I'm like, what's this? Like, I wasn't even thinking none of it. Nobody was really telling me like that.
Right.
Now, my defensive back coach was a former Bengal, Jimmy Turner, who went to UCLA. So he was, you know, telling me like, Rod, there's a future for you in this. I'm like, all right, then, cool. And I started going on these recruiting visits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I see how they doing it. My first one was to Michigan State. Went up there and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be a Spartan. We're gonna go up here and do our thing, have a good time. Had one of my guys who was at West High the year before that. He was at Michigan State, so he was trying to get us to come up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then I went on and, you know, had a visit at that time, and we're going to like Temple, Toledo at that point. Then when I went to Minnesota, it was different for me. I ain't never flying no plane until Michigan State, my recruiting business. But when I went up to Minnesota, you know me, I'm like, I'm trying to start as a freshman.
Absolutely.
I'm like, you know, not knowing what I know now, but, you know, then being 17 or 18, and I'm just like, with a, like I told you, chip on my shoulder and a cockiness.
I know
that cockiness, like, nah, I'm coming here to play now.
Absolutely.
I ain't thinking about the game or how it's going to be my junior and senior year. I'm like, nah, I'm going to play now.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, I actually chose to go to Michigan State. And then the coach from Minnesota hit me up and he was like, nah, man, we really need you here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to play this and that, the other. I was like, all right, cool. So my parents reluctantly was like, man, you going way up there, man. I thought you was going to go to Michigan State. I was like, hey, I'm going to play early. Mm-hmm. It's in a dome. Mm-hmm. I'm going to play half my games inside. I ain't got to worry about that cold like that.
Right.
Y'all, and they get, when I say Minnesota cold, it's Minnesota cold.
Right.
I'm like, you know, everything worked out good for me. I get up there. And, you know, that whole process for me from high school, you know, to college was real smooth for me. Then, you know, I did baseball after that. I ain't really run no track or anything like that until my senior year also. But that's where it was for me. Okay. And, you know, it just really took off from there.
So let me ask you this. After your after your football career in college, talk about that draft status that, you know, were you drafted? Did you have to make it as a free agent? How did that look for you, man?
Told you I'm going to write a book, right?
Absolutely. I want to hear.
I told you I'm going to write a book. Check this out. So 96, let me run it back.
Okay.
Because this is going to make sense to you. Freshman year, I come in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on special team. That wasn't my idea of starting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, playing. I'm like, yo, I'm going to start. Remember, I told you I'm cocky.
Of course.
I got that chip on my shoulder. I'm cocky to a point of how I play football,
Of course.
not just walk around and diss people or whatever. But
Right.
so it's freshman year, I'm like, I'm about to transfer back to Cincinnati. Check me out. The coach who was coaching at Cincinnati, who is the Baltimore Ravens head coach now.
Right now?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Now, the Harbaugh.
Yes, sir.
He was the defensive back coach then.
Wow.
I called him because he recruited me. I called him like, Coach, I'm ready to come back home.
Wow.
He was like, say no more. He's telling me like, go on and make it happen. We get you in January, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And then, Coach talked me out of it and all this. All right, cool. I stay in Minnesota. All right. Go through it. Have a good sophomore year. My junior year, for about 9 games, I led the nation in interceptions to the last game, week 10. I get second team All Big Ten that year. My senior year come around, and actually I had 6 picks my junior year. Then my senior year, I messed around. I had 3. Wasn't nobody fooling with me then. I'm talking about the likes of like we playing Eddie George and them boys. That was my junior year. Or we playing against Terry Glenn, rest his soul, when we balling, wound up playing for the Cowboys. So we playing against dudes all the time. So I get to my senior year and we wasn't winning. You know what I mean? So we wasn't winning. I was all Big Ten again. Go into combine. Well, not that I ain't get invited now. Check me out. I'm all Big Ten. But I'm running around here at 5'10", 175 pounds. And they're like, you played on the team and you were good, but y'all ain't win. I ain't get invited to the NFL combines, but we had scouts coming to our field house and working us out. Shoot, man, I ran the fastest I ran was like a 4.45, something like that. I'm like, for my size, that's fast, but it ain't fast enough. So we go through this process and, the coaches is like, all right, we'll see, we bring them in, they come in and meet me and everything. 1996, I see Orlando Pace go first from Ohio State. I see all these dudes get drafted, and I go undrafted. My agent at the time was like, hey, I'm going to fly you home. We're going to have a draft party, blah, 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 and all that. At this time, me and my wife at the time, who was a student athlete at University of Minnesota, we had just had our daughter, my senior year. So I'm like, nah, don't fly me down. I'm good. I'm going to just stay here. And, I'm not going to come down and stay here with my family because I ain't really know what was going to go on with the draft. And I ain't want to come back here to Cincinnati and be sitting around and then don't get drafted. And, he flying me, hey, Rob, we're going to fly you down, blah, blah, blah. All right, I've been paying for you. At the time when we were training, they was having us do what they call Parisi training, treadmill training, all of this stuff that they doing. I'm saying this to tell you, this is why I became a track coach. And I'm going to explain to y'all how this all transitioned in my life. So go through my senior year, stay up there, don't get drafted, come back, and I go to dude, and I'm like, oh, man, I ain't get drafted. You know what he tells me?
What?
The next day, hey, man, good luck with the rest of your life. This is my agent. Wow. Yo, good luck with the rest of your life. Hopefully you finish school and all that and you do good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, dog. Like, we went through the waiting for the free agent calls the next day and all of that. So, I had some people that wanted to sign me, but they didn't. So now I'm hot. I'm sitting there, we're talking about 1996, and I'm over here like, I done played against, Sean Springs, who was a top pick from Ohio State. I know Sean.
Sure.
I'm seeing all these dudes that they know, like, yo, this dude can play. But at the time, it's like, all right, well, we were 4-6 or 3-7, whatever, but we didn't win like that. But yeah, you did good, but you are what they consider diminutive. Like, oh, you only 5'10", 175. You run a 4.45. So now, here I am in Minnesota. I got a newborn, my wife who's still finishing running track, coming back and all her stuff. And my wheels are spinning like, what I'm going to do like right now?
Absolutely.
Am I going to play arena ball? What I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Milwaukee and play down there, leave my family here. Now I'm like, yo, I got to get faster. So my guy, I'm still cool with this day. He's my coach, Sidney Cartwright, a Bohemian. He was a assistant track coach in Minnesota. This brother took me and started taking me through training. Now, mind you, I'm in Minnesota. It's like 20-something degrees outside.
I was about to say it's cold.
He out here, like, we got indoor, but then he taking me outside. There's snow on the side. He like, yo, I got to sprint you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dog, like, is this makes sense? He's from Bahamas. Like, man, it don't matter. You know, he be talking.
Yeah.
That's my dude. He taking me through the training. He corrected my form. He got me right, how I plant my foot, you know, all of that stuff, how I apply force to the ground. This is all this stuff that I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
He goes over, he times me a couple times on the track. He goes over and asks my wife at the time, he was like, you sure he want to run? Because, you know, I would love to just train him to become a professional sprinter.
Mm-hmm.
She like, nah, his passion is football. She ain't tell me that till later, right?
Right.
Because you never know. So I go afterwards. Remember, I ain't get drafted in that 96, well, the 97 draft. I didn't get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even sign as a free agent. I'm about to sign and go play for Milwaukee Mustangs. You know, that March or whatever. Meanwhile, he trained me and got me faster and got me ready. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and train and do this thing. Remember I told you my high school coach who used to play for the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
He went around and he had a teammate of his who was coaching for the Bengals named Ray Horton. He sent Ray Horton my highlight film. My highlight film's tight. I got to send it to you. Like, it was on point. Like, you know, all these picks, mind you, I had like 10 picks my career, like 10, 11 interceptions.
You got a copy of it?
Yeah.
I need you to send that to me, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm sitting over here like, okay, this is what we doing. He see the film. He was like, yo, bring him. I can get back to Cincinnati. It's the hometown. Right. All right, when you want me to come down here, I get down there. I ain't got to go play for the Mustang, Milwaukee, AFL. I'm like, now I did play for the Minnesota Monsters, so, you know, I did some indoor stuff for that 1 year just to stay sharp or whatever. And when it worked out for the Bengals that following spring, well, going into that summer, before they went to camp, they worked me out. Dude worked me out. I ran a 4.3 flat, 4.29. I did all the drills, didn't drop one ball. My man was like, oh, okay, all right, you know, I don't have a roster spot for you. This is that next year. I done sat out a year now. I don't have a roster spot for you, but stay ready because as soon as the roster spot open up, I'm going to sign you. I'm going to bring you in. So now we going into August at 98. I'm sitting around here like, all right, I done went on and finished what I had to finish at school academically. You know, I was able to watch my wife compete and run, still raising our little daughter and all of that stuff up in Minnesota. You know, I ain't want for nothing in Minnesota. I was that dude in Minnesota. They, Rob, what you need? What you got? This and that, the other. I'm like, I appreciate it. Nothing but love for them. Man, we get all the way to the middle of the NFL season or towards the end. That coach, Ray Horton, decides he was like, yeah, he wasn't going to come back. So he wasn't going to be with the Bengals. The last I saw that, I'm thinking like my opportunity is done. Like that was my end. Like he didn't work me out. And then I worked out for New Orleans as well. And I ran a 4.25 for them. And I'm tripping like, why y'all ain't signed me then? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what was up with it, but it is what it is. You know, so when Ray, he wound up re-signing and coming back, I got a call from the player personnel guy for Cincinnati in January of like 1998. Or I'm sorry, January 1999. We bring you to camp. I'm like, what? You fooling me? I ain't know none of it. It was really a true blessing because at that point I was already ready, but I had already had to sit a year and a half, but I was still grinding. They signed me. I come right into camp in May. Like they had the volunteer camps. I'm at everything. I'm back here. I bring my baby back with me where my wife can still stay at school and finish school. Like we talking about the little stuff that we got to do to make sure we grinding. We talking about grinding.
Yeah.
We got a little apartment. I come back home and I come back to my mom and dad's crib with my daughter at the time, who's like 1 now. I'm down there at the stadium. I'm training at Spinney Field. I'm down there. I ain't missing nothing. I'm working out. I'm doing everything, showing them everything. Mini camp comes in. Boom. I'm out here rolling. They like, who is this kid? Dick LeBeau, who was our defensive coordinator at the time, he come over like, man, you got really good feet. So you know me, chip on my shoulder, cockiness. I don't care if it's the NFL. I don't care who they drafted. I'm about to show y'all I can play. And I love to hit.
Yeah.
Since y'all talking about 5'10", 175, I'm like, yo, I'ma still hit you. Get in the camp. I get like 3 picks that season, 2 picks through preseason. I'm balling. And then, we get to the final cut day. Because they ain't been, like I said, I went as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
We get to the final cut day. I walk into the locker room, and we called him, his name was Jim Lippincott. We called him the Turk. He didn't stop me. That's the dude that stopped you and be like, all right, you turn in your playbook. Go ahead, coach will talk to you in the end or whatever way they did it. I walked right past and went to my locker. And I sit down at the locker, bro, and I got the Bengal stripe helmet. Remind you, I'm Cincinnati, so that's what I grew up seeing.
Absolutely.
You got the Bengal stripe helmet.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm just holding the helmet like I'm just sitting here like, yo, this is reality for me right now. But I still got that chip on my shoulder. Like, I expected that. You speak to stuff in your life that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So if you negative all the time, I had to go out and grind. Now, if stuff happens, then pick yourself up and keep pushing. I had to wait for that opportunity for 1.5 years, bro.
Of course.
And now we get into it. I make the team. And I'm sitting over here because initially, when I first came in, I told my wife, like, yo, I'm at least trying to make practice squad. I'm trying to make practice squad. And every practice, I'm like, shit, I'm trying to make the roster. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm trying to start. I'm going back to that mentality. Like, yo, this is what I'm trying to do.
For sure. Get
down there first game against Tennessee Titans. Steve McNair, Eddie Jordan. I always had to play against big old Eddie. They over there with the Titans. We playing in Tennessee. Bro, I get a pick and a breakup. Calls fumble. In my first game as a rookie.
Wow.
And I had my boy Charles Fisher, who they drafted second round. He was a rookie too. He blew his ACL out in the game.
Ooh.
Next man up, because I was a nickel. I could play dime. I could play inside, outside, all of that. And I'll never forget this. I come in, and my dude, Takeo Spikes from Auburn. They drafted him first in the first round the year before. He like, dude, that's what he called me, Deuce, because I wore 22. You know what I'm saying? He like, Deuce, man, look. Come on, man, ride with me. He was like our version of Ray Lewis, but he wasn't Ray Lewis, but he was just, Spikes was his dog, though.
Right.
Like, Spike got down, like, that's my brother. Man, I'm sitting over there like, you know what I told him? Don't worry, dog, I got this. I'm good. Let's go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
And got out, balled out, man. So it just took off from there.
Man, that's a beautiful story right there. That's beautiful.
Yeah, bro.
As a former athlete and coach, I understand how important it is to take care of your body. Training to compete at a high level can often deplete your body of the minerals it needs to rebuild muscle, tendons, and ligaments. But don't worry, because I have the cheat code for recovery. H3 Energetic CMOS. My wife and I both take it every day, and it gives us a boost of energy while also helping with those unexpected aches and pains. Look, don't get struck. Go to h3energetics.com today and grab your container of CMOS. Use the discount code ASTARSTRUCK and get one of my favorite flavors, the Mixed Berry Blast, for 10% of the regular price.
And the reason why I say that for real is because, it's so many different variations of that story from so many different athletes. You know what I mean? Like everything that you just said, I have a lot of little nuggets in it. It ain't the exact story. But, man, that's what I notice when I get people on here talking, especially the elite that make it to the league and blood, sweat, and tears and putting together a regiment, understanding what you got to do to really get there. I mean, that's exactly what I want this platform to represent, like people to come and watch and hear and see, okay, this is what he did. You mean to tell me he was able to have a chip on his shoulder after he didn't get drafted, after, just that resilience part, So I want to say this to you because it's important. Obviously, with our show, it represents resilience, okay? And the title is A Star Struck. A lot of people ask what that means. It's more of a star in a situation being struck by an incident that causes their life to be derailed in some sort of way. So, not necessarily dramatic, but something very real. And I've had some people on that have shared some real nuggets, some some interesting stories about how they overcame situations and what
Mm-hmm.
led to it, who helped them out. And, when I thought about you and bringing you on, I'm like, man, I know this guy got a heck of a story, man. So I just want to ask you, what is one of your starstruck moments?
Um, After I'll say getting into my third year of the league,
Uh-huh.
and when you look at, as we know with most athletes, you look at how my career is going. That first year, I'm a rookie, but I balled out. They like, yo, we got to keep this kid. I had a 2-year deal. Get to that second year, balling out. I'm starting. I'm a starter now.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no free agent. You can't just have me here on some minimum wage. I ain't gonna say but
Absolutely.
minimum like that.
Minimum, yeah.
Yeah, it's minimum. I like, yo, y'all gonna have to pay me. Get to year 3. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see what y'all talking about. Starter. More than likely, the better, especially I'm playing left corner. That's hot over there at that left side. If y'all understand football, most quarterbacks is right-handed.
Of course.
They going to that, to their right about 60% of the time, 65. So Cincinnati knew, like, all right, we're gonna have to, make sure we take care of him. And they wound up taking care of me. And going into, like, we go into year 4, and now we talking about week 5, we playing the Browns. I go up to make a tackle. And at that time, we didn't have the field turf. We had that grass, thick, long. I slip, go down, almost like if you baseball sliding, but your leg doesn't go under you. So I'm kind of like spread eagle.
Mm.
I make the tackle because my foot went from under me. I was about to go down and cut dude. I go down, and I'm on the ground. He's on top of me, and one of my teammates grabbed the dude and kept pushing him over top of me. Pushed my head down past my leg. So when you do like a stretch and you trying to stretch like you stretching to your foot, imagine your face on the ground. Ain't that flexible?
Right.
So my tendons, well, at that time they thought my muscles were torn. So let's just say my muscles were torn off the bone.
Mm-hmm.
So I roll over. They come in, pick me up, take me in the tunnel, take me to get the MRI and all that stuff. My wife come down, sister, everybody coming down because I had a little sweep of my family. They come down. I could see in their face. And I ain't know. I think I'm just pulled it bad. It was like, nah, you tore it. It was just hanging. So I'm sitting over here like, I'm coming in. And at that time, you start to get, once you in, you start to get into a thing where I try to separate the game and business. When I step on the field, is the game. When I'm off the field, it's business. And, sometimes you can mix them and you on the field and it's business and you kind of lose that fire. When I got hurt, it started weighing on me. Like, am I ever going to be able to come back and be that fast, athletic defensive back that I need to be?
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I'm like, I am. I'm going to be that dude. I'm going to be able to come back from that. They flew me down to North Carolina the next day. Well, actually, a couple of days later that week. Fly down there, they do the surgery. They come back and they like, the muscles were intact. It wasn't. They were thinking like, if this is my tailbone, this is my feet, or really from my hammy, they're thinking like everything got torn from here.
Mm-hmm.
When really the tendon just came off the bone. That's why the surgery went so fast. Wow. So basically they put some sutures in my bone, and then they just tied the tendons back on. So the tendons and the muscles were still together.
I see what you mean, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Then I should be back faster. Now this happened in October. So show you how business now comes in. We get to after Christmas, football season's over. Bro, we sitting here, and now I'm training with the Bengals trainer. I'm not going in. I'm with them now. I'm going to be a loyal athlete. I'm gonna come in with them. I got hurt under you. Y'all rehabbing me. Y'all bringing me back. You know, January, February, come back. They got me. They're having videos because we had the aqua tread. You know what I'm talking about? The aqua tread. We can get in there. We running. They got videos on me running. They using me as a what you call a guinea pig because at that time that stuff, you know, in the stadium, that stuff was new. And they trying to bring me back, and they want to use me as a guinea pig to show how my rehab and everything is coming. Mm-hmm. So mind you, I'm in there every day rehabbing, you know, lifting or just all the stuff I have to do all the way. Mini camp comes, I'm not doing mini camp. Remember, I got hurt in October.
Of course, yeah.
You know, we're sitting here thinking like, yo, this is going to be a year thing. This was my agent at the time, my different agent at the time. Because that cat who, when I got done with college, you know, he came hollering at me when I got in the league, and he's like, hey, Rod. I was like, man, get up out of here, dude. I ain't hollering at you. Anyway.
Have a nice life, Rod.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, my life is cool.
Right.
So we get all the way through mini camp. We get back to like June. I'm in Cincinnati, and I happen to be in the head trainer's office, and I'm looking at, you know how they be having the injury reports, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm looking. I see my name. I'm like, okay, yeah, they got me on here, and it was like they got me set to be cleared to come back and play at training camp. So I'm over here like, what? Like, yo, this is you talking about? I got hurt at the end of October. So November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Oh, we're sitting at 8 months. Mm-hmm. You know, this is a year-long thing that I'm going to come back from tendons off the bone. You know, we've been trying to get the scar tissue out and all of that. It was like, well, you know, and ain't nobody told me nothing. I happened to see that. So now I got to call my agent like, yo, this is what they trying to do, blah, 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 what we got in contract, blah, all that other stuff. He was like, well, they like, yo, if you don't go to camp, they just going to cut you. So now I'm sitting over here like, now I'm damaged goods because I got hurt. Mm-hmm. I never took another snap. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody going to pick me up. I don't think that's going to happen. So here I go. I'm good enough to be 5 corners who going to make this team because I was just your starter the year before that.
Of course.
And when I went out, y'all ain't do that good. It wasn't like y'all replaced me. Mm-hmm. So now I'm looking at my value. So now we went from me coming in as an undrafted free agent, at first wanting to make the practice squad. Then I'm going to tell you I'm going to make the team. I'll make the team. I'll do everything that I can in my power to be the best I can be over the 3 years. Give me a new contract, a 3-year deal, and then I turn around and get hurt. And now you trying to bring me back early. Mm-hmm. And now I'm looking at loyalty. Like, yo, this is how we do it in the NFL. That's why they say not for long. All right, bet. I come back to camp. I was great breaking from my right to my left. You put me on the right side, I'm breaking everywhere. Mm-hmm. From my left to my right, it wasn't the same. It was like I was that much slower.
Yeah, yeah.
So I get all the way through camp. They release me at the final cut down. I go in there and I told dude, I was like, are you serious? Like, it's not 5 dudes in there that's better than me. Mm-hmm. So y'all doing this because my salary is higher than whoever else is in here. Y'all feel like y'all can bring somebody, or y'all just don't believe that I can come back. I get picked up by Carolina the next day. I'm down in Carolina for a day. And then they come back and they looked at my leg and they was like, they ain't want to fool with it. They said something like I had a void. I don't even know to this day. I don't know what the hell they talking about. Mm-hmm. I had a void in my hamstring. It was like a dense area in my hamstring. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go back on the market. I'm going down to Miami. All right, we're going to go ahead. The whole time, Los, I'm like, I don't want to run for nobody, though. Mm. But I don't want to put no time down on no clock because Cincinnati brought me back to training camp. I never had a chance to even rehab right. I never had a chance to get ready I'm just going back out there and trying to play. So they threw me to the wolves. All right, it's cool. But in my mind, I'm still strong up here. I still got a mentality like I can overcome it. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to overcome this. Get to Atlanta, fell in love with it. You know, they playing 2-man all the time. stuff I like to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that bump and run type of guy. All right, let's go on ahead and make it happen. Finished there in Atlanta. And it was contemplating staying there, like far as moving and all that, Cincinnati, my wife's from Pittsburgh. I was like, I think it would be better for us to stay in the Midwest. Get done in Atlanta, and we talking about making decisions now. If I'm going to go do some Canadian football, if I'm going to do this and that, just to show that I can still play.
Uh-huh.
At that time, man, the Fire, me trying to fight all the time to prove like, yo, this is what I can do. I got tired of that, especially when I had some money. And now I'm sitting over here like, bro, I'm not going to sit here and do this. If y'all don't want me, then I'm going to just go another avenue.
Of course.
So now I'm sitting over here and it's like, all right, I get done in 2004 when I decided to move out to Liberty Township. And thank God I had insurance on my contract also.
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called Lloyd's of London. I don't know if everybody knew about this or whatever, but I insured my contract.
Okay.
I was able to collect that because of my injury.
Okay.
So now I'm like, they like, well, you had to be disabled, all this and that. And I wound up fighting for it. So I was able to get that contract year from that salary that I had. That was tax free, bro. So now I'm sitting over here. Now I'm really in my mindset, like, forget y'all.
Of course.
Y'all left me out hanging. Because like I said, I did everything I could for Cincinnati. And, now you see, like, it's a business. They don't care. Nobody care. Like, yo, it's what you can do for me now. What can you do for me? Now we're going to go get the next person. And now we're going to get to, it ain't no different than it is in college. And I learned that. But it was a point in my life where I was so bitter. It was a point in my life where I was like, my career got cut short. And I was trying to figure it out, like, well, how I'm going to get rid of that itch. Is it going to be through coaching? Is it going to be for me, going out here and coaching football and then trying to make it happen in the league? Because I didn't want to do college. I was like, I got to go straight back to the league. I got unfinished business here.
Of course.
So 2005 come around, and I go to coach a Tav with a former Bengal named Mike Martin, my high school coach, Jimmy Turner, Mark Mitchell. He was there.
R.I.P.
My man.
Yes.
Yeah, Big Mitch. He was there. And, at that point, my career was cut short, but I still had that. I got to prove something. Like, I want to get there and do this.
Of course.
I want to coach. I want to do this and that. Because when I got hurt and they didn't cover me and they didn't want to tell me, that was something for me where I felt like that was dirty as hell. And they do that to everybody. They do that a lot. I'm quite sure you've seen it from the NBA.
Of course. For sure.
Where they're just going to move you on. And I had to get past that point in my life, dog, because when I had got hurt and my rehab was, they had me, I couldn't move my legs. So they had me strapped up and everything. My wife, man, I know I got on her last nerves because it was everything I needed to do. I mean, I had to sit down anyway. I ain't gonna go in depth in that, but it was just stuff that I had to do where it's a point in my life right then and there where I got little kids. My son was just born too. So we had our 3 babies. And I'm like, yo, I got to figure out how to make this happen. Because now this injury didn't hurt me. Everything is going on the way it is. What direction and what I'm going to do now? We fine financially, but I still want to make sure we good. Like, my career just got taken away from me. And I felt like I done went through. Then I started working out. I worked out for Denver, worked out for Detroit. And it's just like, I matter of fact, when I was in Detroit, the young brother who coming from the Cowboys, he came in with me, believe me, and the brother sitting there with me. And we about to do a workout. He was like, man, I ain't even feel like coming. My wife made me come.
To the workout?
Bruh, that's how bitter, that's how tiring it can be.
Yeah.
Especially when, Detroit brought in like 7 DBs. And when he was coming from the Cowboys, and it's a thing where when you get comfortable financially, now you like, all right, well, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't even need this now. Because if you don't want me and I'm trying to make it happen, how much more am I going to fight for that? Because I didn't, at that time, you're thinking like, We ain't thinking 20 years later, all right, yeah, so you got $4 million. So you got, $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, now that you see how money is being made now, okay, so how you going to make that work for you? Thank God I got a wife who want to invest.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I had a wife with me who was making sure that everything was good. And obviously, I ain't no fool to just make dumb decisions.
Of course.
But when I see other DBs or other guys who were just burned out,
yeah,
we just got tired of just getting pushed through the ringer.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So that was one of the things where I was like, well, let me get into coaching. Started doing that, bro. And really just took off from there.
Yeah.
To where, that injury and that struggle of me trying to figure out where I fit in next was one of my biggest things.
Mm-hmm. How did that that's a deep story. That's a deep story. How did it affect you from a mental health standpoint? That's a very
good one.
big.
That's a hell of a good one. It was one of those things where I could see how it could take somebody out. Like if you feel like, where do I fit in? Or I think the toughest thing for me at that point was I want to prove somebody wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And mentally, if I can't do that, what am I good for after that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't looking at the kids and my wife like, yeah, I know y'all need me, but I got unfinished business. You know what I mean? I couldn't stand the Bengals for years, dog. After that, I was like, yo, I'm a hometown dude. I'm running around here doing commercials. I'm this and that, the other. And y'all couldn't even live up to what y'all was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I couldn't think like, well, it's just woe is me. Because there's other players that's going through this too.
Of course.
But I never looked at it like that way. Obviously, as we mature and we get older, we see that.
Of course.
Because I ain't had nobody being my mentor at the time telling me about that part, about the business. I ain't had nobody telling me that.
Of course.
So the mental part for me was like, I didn't drink or anything like that. It was more of a thing where I had to trust my faith, bro. Mm-hmm. Like it was times where I was bawling and I was on my knees praying, like, God, show the way for me, or we gonna make this happen. There's times where I was like in my living room. My wife heard me. She was like, she just went back to sleep, like, oh, baby, yeah, go on and get that in. Like, she's sitting there like, go on, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where it broke me down like that, where I was just sitting here like, I ain't trying to leave from the game yet.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing you didn't know, I did go to Canada for a year. Not even a year, but and I ain't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the people, but it wasn't the same.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the league for me. And I had got to that point. Now I appreciated it, but it wasn't what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out there and I did what I had to do, and it was like a vacation for my family. But I knew then, dog, I was like, if it ain't the league, I'm cool. Like I can't do it no more. But I still love the league. So that's why that was the toughest thing. Like, how do I get my foot back in there?
Of course. Did it ever cause a sense of depression for you? Did you ever find yourself depressed?
Couldn't. I don't think it was. I think I got too much pride.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a time where, when I tell you I was there crying and I was praying, like, I think that was my time where I needed to, hear from the Lord. Like I really had to reach that part.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was one of the things for me where that's where I was. I didn't have the plus, everything got to keep going for me. Kim, my wife's name is Kim.
Mm-hmm.
She was on it. Like, you got to make sure you good with what you're doing. Like we gonna be fine. If she wasn't there, bro, I could see myself. My boy Rudy just killed himself.
Wow, really?
Rudy Johnson.
Yes.
He played with me in Cincinnati. Wow. Just committed suicide last week.
That was recent.
He was on the team with me at 01.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one of those things.
It was behind that? It was behind this same thing that we're talking about?
As far as Rudy?
With Rudy?
Now, this just happened last week. And from my understanding with him, obviously it was a depression that he had.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cats we're going to talk about. CTE is a real thing, man. It is a real thing. I mean, talking about what's my man name? Junior Seau. Back in, some years ago when he committed suicide. CTE. I mean, that is a real thing for us football players where, or even guys in hockey or whatever, boxers. It's a real thing, man. And I talked to several of my former teammates, and even while we younger, and Rudy was only 45.
Wow.
And nobody really seen it. Now, I'm a uniform inspector for the NFL now.
Oh, okay.
That's one thing that I have that's going on. Rudy was the same thing for the Miami Dolphins. I do uniform inspection for the Cincinnati Bengals, but that's one of the things where that depression or that can affect you in a whole nother way. And that's why I had to pray so much, because I could feel that. Don't get it twisted. I could feel like, a failure. I could feel like, all I know is this is what I've been. I overcame not being drafted. Then I come in here and do my thing. Then, I'm balling. I'm out here and I'm getting respect. Then I get hurt. And now you don't give me a chance to come back. So now I'm pissed. And then I don't get that opportunity to really get that get back. So now I'm holding on to that, from 05, 06, 07, 09, you know what I'm saying? 2010, where it's like, yo, I got another chip on my shoulder. First, I had a chip on my shoulder that I'm going to go out here and prove that I can play this game and I want to knock everybody out I see. But then I got another chip on my shoulder that I'm going to prove to these cats that, you made the wrong move. Like, but I couldn't be, now that I'm I understand, like, I ain't the only one they did that to.
Of course. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I understand the business of it. At that time, I couldn't see that, bro. I couldn't see that it's a business. I took it personal.
Yes.
Like, when we first out and some injury happened and they closing the door on us, it's like, the hell with y'all. I'm going to go on and make it happen without you. I did it before.
Of course.
So.
What would you tell like young people that are in this scenario, in this situation? Like, obviously you had a great outlook and a perspective because you was able to go to your spiritual side and, make sure that you got yourself together, and you had a great wife by your side that was able to kind of hold you down too.
Yeah.
What would you say to people that don't necessarily have those resources and the ability to fall back?
That's a great question. For me, they're going to, if you're a former, just say the NFL has so many different outlets for you in order to help you with, whether it's after your career. The NFLPA, I just went to something on that last Wednesday and got to see 48 dudes who played in the league for the Southwest, region here in Ohio. And just, we have to have brothers that hold you accountable. Because if you don't, then that's where you fall off. That's where, like, I feel like I don't know who was there for my boy Rudy. I just don't know, or why he got to a dark place where that happened. Or when you sit there, and my whole advice is they have to find an outlet. Or if you're a former player, if it's in the NBA or whatever, find something that the league, because they are mandated, like that's what they have to do for your former players. And if you don't, you have to seek some type of counseling. You have to understand that your life is worth something. You have to. And if you don't, I pray, like, and I hope that you understand, like, it's better you being here than not.
Of course.
Therefore, you can continue to move forward with your journey. Because my life is a journey. We have journeys. And I look at it that way, bro, because it was a time where when I got done, I'm feeling like, oh, my journey over?
Right.
Like, yo, that's so quick.
Of course.
Dog, I was just enjoying this. We could do it. It ain't even a money thing. It was playing the game that I love. I grew up saying this is what I want to do. And having that opportunity and then feeling like, yo, y'all just took it away. Because I got, and then I sit there and I start saying, man, if I ain't make that tackle, man, if I would have did this,
Because I would have been in the league 9 years, 10 years. I'm seeing dudes who play, and I'm like, oh, y'all wasn't the same.
I got you.
Then you sit there and you just like, why me?
Mm-hmm.
I had to get rid of that.
Of course.
So I think if people don't keep pushing forward,
mm-hmm.
if you don't keep trying to find a sense of hope or a sense of desiring what you're trying to do or that next journey, because if you're trying to find it yourself and you ain't there, you got to have somebody. Because if you don't have that spiritual person next to you, or if you don't have that, like you just asked that question, they need to find resources from the league that they were playing in, or if it's from another church outlet, or if it's from a friend, a close friend. That person ain't even got to be somebody who's a former athlete.
Mm-hmm.
It got to be somebody that you can vent to, because that's where most of our stuff come from, where we can't really get it out. Like cats can't even talk. Like, how can I talk to this person when they ain't even been down my road?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or, you know, so that's where being around other athletes, you can probably hear their story and they can give you a light like, okay, that's what he going through.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yo, man, can you tell me, just like you asked me, how you got through that?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be bros who get cut and who season's over, who get injured. It just don't stop. It ain't just, it happened to Rod. It's going to happen to this person. Tyreek Hill just tore his knee up. He coming back because he didn't did his thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be something he got to come back from, and I'm wishing the best. But it all happened.
Mm-hmm.
You starstruck somewhere.
For sure, man.
Feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Somebody, somehow.
Absolutely.
You know, and you done had some of the boys from the NBA coming in here and they telling you, you know, Greg Oden, watch him the whole time and he kept getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I know his story was awesome.
Absolutely. For sure.
So,
for sure.
Did that answer your question, bro?
Absolutely, it did. For sure, man. But let me tell you this, man. I know we making light of it, and it's really good just because we are both former athletes, and people like to hear us speak on it, on the real. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you this, man. I mean this. You know, this is not just because you're on the screen and, you know, we're talking. Yours is commendable, man. It really is, man. I really salute you for the way you've handled it. Because, you know, there's so many different people that go in different directions. I know you're extremely thankful for your wife and your spiritual walk, which is good, man. But like I told you earlier, we from the same place, man. We from the same place. And a lot of people don't make it out. But guess what? It's a lot of people that are from that place that's watching this podcast in support of me and support of you. So to hear it and hear how it affects your life, but how do you get through it? That's bigger than we'll ever know. It's almost equivalent to us coaching. Like your team that you coach, like what you say is very important, man. How you act is very important. And that's just the real, man. I gotta salute you, my brother, because that is some real deal knowledge and wisdom when it comes to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
You have never heard anyone come in and actually guarantee a bucket off the bounce from half court. H3 energetic CMOS. That's what does it, dog. All right, don't try this at home and don't say I didn't tell you. Y'all know me. Off the bounce! Oh!
I will tell you this, man. I think when we talk about how to move on from any type of shortcomings that come in your life, if like you said, man, if I wouldn't have had a family that I had to look after, like, you know, a lot of people ain't in there. I got three. I had three at that time, and they young, and I'm like, yo, I can't be selfish for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing where, you know, when I see my bros, like, you know, I remember I told you about the bro from Michigan State.
Yeah.
It was one of my dudes who, he committed suicide. he never made it to the NFL, but he played at Michigan State and, shot himself. And I'm like, yo, there's too many former athletes that I'm cool with that and did that. Yeah. And that's another thing for me that I'm so aware of it because it's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
And now for me, it's like a platform like this. You just don't know, or you do know how much and who is going to reach and how it reaches cats because your life is, we got one life to live, bro, and your body is your temple. And at the end of the day, there's nothing that's more important than that. Absolutely. There's nothing. If anybody looking at it, there's nothing that's more important than that. We got walking around the school where they're like, your life is important. It means something.
Yeah.
If you have thoughts of suicide, make sure you call this number or you have this. They just got to have an outlet. And, when I went to the NFL thing, they doing a good job of trying to make sure, look, every 5 years, they check our entire body, right? We don't have to pay for anything. They even do the stuff for our wife. Make sure our mental health and everything is there. At the drop of the dime, we can call. You already know. You didn't talk to former NBA players. I'm quite sure that in the NBA, the union is doing their thing just like the NFLPA. And that's their job. But also understanding, like, when your show and your platform right here is something that, especially the avenue and the way that you're doing it, is great because we ain't always just talking about the limelight. We talking about the dark light of it too. Ain't nobody there when I was sitting here trying to figure out I couldn't even get around and I'm just hoping I can get back and play.
Of course.
Or when I'm in Canada and I'm like, yo, man, I'm tired of this. Like, man, I could have easily been like, man, I don't want to do nothing. I'm good. I'm going to quit. But now you got into coaching. I got into coaching. And my desires was like, yo, I'm a coach and I'm a coach till I get in the league. Then I started seeing them hours that them boys was putting in.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, I can't do that because I got these kids of mine who, like I said, raised them and they became state champions and doing their own thing in their own right. Which, when I look at it and was like, dang, if I wasn't there in their life, I can't get that back, bro.
Of course.
I can't get those years back. And that's the avenue that I went. That's why when I became a track coach and speaking to these kids, and it's funny you say that because sometimes, bro, I don't realize how much my words impact, but it just it's just natural for me.
Absolutely.
Just to really vent or just really speak or whatever is just placed on me to really come that way. Because you know how it is now. The game has changed and, everybody trying to do the NIL. Everybody trying to do this.
Yes.
You got parents who are all the way involved. And being a coach, I understand that side of it to where I know when I need to step back and let the coaches do what they need to do.
Of course.
Out of respect from being a coach. And I respect you, bro, for what you're doing.
I appreciate it.
And how you getting it done because we need coaches like that.
Absolutely.
And, whatever I tell my kids now, hopefully that's going to be something that as they continue to grow older, they don't decide at one dark turn that they want to kill themselves.
Of course.
Or that they don't want to sit here or, get addicted to alcohol or or just use it as a substance or, you look at all these, think about this, we love Prince. I love Michael Jackson. We look at a lot of things that they done had and they like Whitney Houston and drugs, became an issue for them.
Yeah.
And you thinking like, what I would do to have their life, what I would do to have that. But it's something that's really, they feel like they need it as a crutch. And, unfortunately, they're not here. So now when you look at it, bro, it's a decision that we make in our mind that's going to be, understand that if our body's our temple, we got to understand that there's things that we're going to have to do to make sure that we don't damage that and cut our life short.
You know what? I have to say this part too, because it's so true, man, especially you being you, me being me, and understanding what it takes to be a developing young male. See, that 18 to 25 years old, from 18 years old to 25, man, that's the most confusing time of your life, man, because the reality is, you can talk about people that go to college, then that ends up being that 18 to 22. So you got some sort of purpose in college. But after that, let's say things don't go exactly the way you want. See, as males, we are taught to provide and take care of your family and stuff. You know what I mean? But this right here, what we about to talk about, it doesn't get discussed like that. But it's real. So now, if you had dreams and aspirations to go into the league, your first thoughts when you were younger was, I love the game. But when it starts to become a business and you start to see what type of money you can make, now you are entering that part of life where it's time to take care of yourself and your family, possibly, because I had a son young too. So now you're in a situation that if you don't make the league, all these dreams and aspirations that has been in your head, man, now you thinking about all the ways to get an income that's going to take care of your family. But guess what? It's not Wendy's. It's not Kroger's. It's not, you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's a heck of a crossroad. And that's how a lot of our young men, they get in trouble. They get involved with different stuff because the pressure of you trying to really provide financially, because you don't know no better. If ain't nobody in your life that's a mentor that's really telling you, no, this is how you do it. Think about how long you hated football or hated the Bengals or hated. Yeah, I was the same way. I'm looking like, but during that time that you're hating, you're not being mentored and drawn in by somebody that's telling you, hey, football is a lot of your lifetime knowledge. Basketball is a lot of your life. I don't like to say that's all you know. But it's a big part. So not only can you go to this $1 billion industry and do some things, but you sitting over here mad at it. But you can't expect a young cat to just come up out of that. Somebody got to mentor you out of that. You know what I mean? 18 to 25, though, that is a tough moment in your life. You know what I'm saying?
I would say I agree with you on that one wholeheartedly, bro, because if it's one of those things where when you look at that whole situation, if I'm 20 at that time, I think when I got hurt, I was like 28. 27, 28. And, you know, if I would have never got the opportunity to come to Cincinnati and work out or play, now I'm sitting over here like, all right, you know, all that stuff I wanted to do, because I'm like, it's over. Like when the dude told me, like, yeah, have a nice one. And I was sitting over here, I sat down, I was like, you know, at that point, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
When the reality sat in, though, was when my boy Ray Horton, who's the defensive back coach, when he resigned from his position. Check this out. He resigned because he wanted more money from Cincinnati. And I was in Minnesota, and I read that on like I don't know, either way I saw it. I'm like, yo, my opportunity is over. Yeah. Because they were supposed to bring me in a couple months before, and they brought in a punter. So now I'm like, oh, really? I was supposed to come in there like that December. Oh, we're about to bring you in. He was like, then they pretty much gassed me up and then just let the air out.
Yeah, for sure.
So now you just like, you know, through our life, man, when you sit here and you looking like, what would I have done if they never would have signed? If I would have never signed? If I would have never did that? You know, and what path? I mean, I'm quite sure I would have done something else, but in the back of my mind, you know, this is what I want to have an opportunity to close that door on, making it to the league.
Right.
I think what happened though, in 2011, when I got on as a uniform inspector, I was still involved with the league.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now I've been doing that ever since.
Yes.
So I'm good. Because now they're like, okay, it's different avenues that you can do and still be involved. Man, I done went to London. You know, we done did this and that, all with NFL type stuff. So now I'm like, okay. But that opportunity didn't happen unless, you know, until, you know, I got in and played, you know, knew some people who was in there and was like, all right, here, I'm in Cincinnati. That opened up. Let's roll.
Of course.
So it's 64 of us. That's uniform inspectors that's doing our thing, but
that's beautiful.
You know, obviously players hate us.
And I hated him when I played, but
Right.
it is what it is. Somebody got to do the job.
Hey, somebody got to do it, man. And you knowledgeable in that mud, so it is what it
Oh,
is.
bruh. I'll be
But
sitting over here.
you know what? I'm happy that you were able to even provide that, because a lot of people don't even know that avenue. You know what I mean? It's so many
Yeah.
different things that's in the NFL, and you were able to make it to the highest level. Man, it's something to be said about that. You know what I want to ask you. And we'll kind of wrap it up, but we can talk forever, man.
Yeah,
For sure, we can talk forever. But I do want to talk about just some of your highlights of your career when it came to playing against like your idols and the people. You know what I mean? Because I can remember the first time I stepped on the court, and I was like, but at the same time, you're a dog. Where we from, you're a dog. But these are the same people you've been watching for a while. So now so I want to hear from your story.
Check me out. So we playing the 49ers here in Cincinnati.
Jerry Rice. Come on. Go ahead. I already know.
So, I'm sitting over here. Terrell Owens over there. At that time, we ain't care about you. I was like, man, whatever, dude. I don't like you anyway.
Right.
But Jerry was to the end where he was going to be finishing the 49ers, and he was about to go to a different team. But we sitting over there, and we in the game. And I kid you not, man. First time I lined up against him. And in my head, I'm lined up in the press technique, and I'm like, yo, this is Jerry Rice in front of me. I'm the whole time I'm thinking that we done broke the huddle. I'm like, yeah, this is actually Jerry Rice in front of me. And I can hear the quarterback calling out stuff. I'm like, all right, lock in, Rod. Lock in, man. Right. You still got a ball. But this is Jerry Rice in front of me. So he comes over and make a little move. I'm like, I'm running. I'm over here like, man, lock in, dog. Like, so that game, it was one of the things. Once I got through that part, I was like, man, I'm gonna just have fun with it. Like, let me just have fun with it, because, at that point, I'm like, all right, because I ain't trying to have this man do something. So his was dirty. Jerry got one on me. He was dirty too. Man, that's what I get, because I'm playing in the slot, and he went down. We was in like zero coverage or whatever. I'm pressing him, and the quarterback throws the ball up, and I'm in position to go and knock it down and go make a play. And then Jerry just put his hand like right on my hip, and not up high, on my hip, and it just slowed me down, and he caught the ball right into the end zone. And I'm on the ground, and I look up. I was like, damn, I'm just adding to one of his touchdown totals. And I'm sitting here the whole time. But they missed the play on ESPN, so I wasn't even tripping no more on it. I come over. We wound up winning. I go up to him after the game, say my stuff or whatever with it. Yeah. And it was cool. I was like, all right, I ain't gonna never get caught in that, because, I'm pissed because, he caught that ball on me and he pushed off on my hip. And my dad was mad. That play he pulled off, he cheated. I was like, that's Jerry Rice, man. They ain't gonna call the flag on him. They gonna go ahead. It is what it is.
They ain't doing
so
it.
Now we play Emmitt Smith, the Cowboys.
Yes.
We down in Dallas. Man, I got up in there, Emmitt come around the corner, and I don't know why he stopped. I'm thinking because he see me, he stopped, and he just kind of like braced himself, and I made the hit on him because he was trying to run a sweep, but I had snuck in past the receiver, hit him, got up, and I started walking away, and I'm sitting over here like, yo, I just lit up Emmitt Smith. I was just sitting here like, let me get back in my flow. Let me get back in my flow, because I'm gonna play against y'all. Once I got done with it, and it was really just those two. Like Marvin Harrison was my dude. I played against him at Syracuse. Peyton Manning got on my last nerves because he just talked the whole game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, but it was really just Emmitt and Jerry who just kind of had me like, yo, my brother over here like, yo, can you give me Emmitt's autograph when y'all down there?
Right.
Like, nah, man, I ain't getting all that. That's like you trying to go up and get Jordan's autograph or,
right.
Nobody doing that.
Did you ever match up against, this is funny, man, this guy, I know you about to say yes, man. But he went to high school with me, Peerless Price. I knew you was going to say that. Especially when you said Peyton.
Peerless had, his agent at the time was Tim McGee.
Uh-huh.
All right? Because Tim McGee came out of Tennessee. He used to play for the Bengals too. So I knew Peerless and all of that too. But Peerless was a dog though. Peerless was cool. It wasn't nothing like, but Peerless got down with what he had to do. Actually,
yeah, man.
because I remember him coming out too. Yeah, Peerless was actually a little bit after me though.
Yeah, he might have been. He
I think Peerless was a little bit after
younger than me. Peerless is 1 year younger than me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. We got it. Yeah, we got at it then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who he played, who he wound up going to.
He went to Buffalo Bills.
We played them in preseason.
He did.
Yeah, we played them in preseason.
Absolutely. He went to
Buffalo. I remember old Peerless. He had that Sports Illustrated little cover. Said something like, I forgot what it was.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's my guy, man. He went to high school.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you knew my other guy that went to high school, but he was with Tennessee with him, Andy McCullough. He was a big receiver. But he ended up playing a couple years in the league, and I think he went to over in Europe too.
Okay. That's when they had NFL Europe and Berlin and all that.
Yeah, they was playing. They both were receivers for Manning though, for Peyton in college.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Big Ed. Hey, he goes on about doing all that dummy calls. He over there, Omaha. Hey, you got the mic right there. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting over here like, bro, you gonna call this play or not, man? Come on, bro.
I know it.
I had to stay up and get ready for them though.
No
like when him and Marvin and Reggie Wayne, them boys came to town.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, another one who was dope was Marshall Faulk.
Oh, yes.
So, seeing them when they was with the Rams, that was another thing my rookie year. We played the Rams when Kurt Warner came to town. And this is before they was the show on turf. They must have just became the show on turf when they played us that game.
No doubt.
Because these boys, him and Isaac Bruce, they were just, Bruce a Hall of Famer now. They just got down, bro. I had some fun times playing ball.
No doubt.
And, got to see, like I said, I played against Eddie George every year, a couple times. Another one who running back, they don't give a lot of love. What they do with Fred Taylor? For Jacksonville?
Yes, sir. Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. Fred was 230 pounds, can run a 4.3. Like, them dudes back then, they would run the ball. You know how the league is now. They run a little bit, if you Philly, but everybody else slinging that rock.
They passing that mug, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. So imagine me playing corner in the league now. I'll be sitting over here. I'll be in nickel and dime packages all game against the pass. You going to play at least 7 years. You ain't got to tackle nobody.
Absolutely. And no major collisions. That's real.
None. My hammy wouldn't be torn if I'd have been playing now. I ain't got to tackle nobody.
Man, I know what you mean. I definitely know what you mean. Rod, man, this has been such a beautiful experience, man. I really appreciate you coming on. What you want to tell the kids, man? Everybody watching, what message do you want to leave them with? Just getting off, because again, like I say, I like to be very resourceful and educational with my platform. And
and I love that. I'm glad I had a chance to come on and really share my story. If y'all could take anything from our story, that's just telling you that, you can accomplish whatever you set your mind to. Don't be letting nobody tell you what you can't do. And I know people hear this all the time, where they say, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. But when adversity comes, don't falter, don't buckle.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like my boy Tomlin said in Pittsburgh, you cut your eyelids off because you ain't trying to blink. Don't blink at nothing. Like, for real, man, that's real talk. And I'll take what his advice, because Mike Tomlin is cool as heck. I see him when they come in town. He was actually a Bearcat coach too. I don't know if he was there when you was there.
No, he wasn't there when I was there.
Yeah, I think he was before you. Yeah, because he's been with Pittsburgh forever now. But Mike T, like I said, anything that I can say to anybody who's watching is continue to push forward whatever desires you have, bro. And make sure you understand that if you fall short, don't ever just quit, man.
Yes, sir.
Keep on pushing for it. Always have that chip on your shoulder. Because as soon as you lose that chip, then you're gonna lose. My chip for me is what keeps my drive.
Absolutely.
As soon as you lose that, you lose your drive.
For sure. And I love that, man. I love that. I know we're gonna do this plenty more times, man.
I got
Like I
you.
said, man, I
got you.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to come up here to a game.
Oh, hey, you let me. Hey, you gonna see me up there. I told you
Absolutely.
that.
Come
You gonna
on,
step
man.
up there for sure.
For sure, man. For sure.
We coming. I'll be up there before you know it. Y'all start in November. You see me up there in November.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt. All right,
All
man.
right,
Well, have
bro.
a beautiful week, man. And I'll talk to you. I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Of course, brother. Appreciate that anytime.
Okay, right. I see you, man.
Anything you place in front of me, I'll be victorious. Straight about the trenches where it's vicious.